Hello and welcome into the Mike Rose Soccer Complex today, where your University of Memphis Lady Tigers are taking on the Rice Owls here to start off the Memphis tournament weekend. The first matchup this evening was between the Tulsa Hurricanes and the Ole Miss Rebels. Ole Miss took a big early advantage, scoring 4 goals in that first half and took care of business 4-0. You can keep watching us live here on Go Tigers Go all weekend long, as Memphis will be back in action Sunday versus the Ole Miss Rebels. Looking forward to that matchup as well. But let's get into this one right here between, of course, the Rice Owls, who are currently 2-1-1 on the season. 2 games, unfortunately, were canceled due to Hurricane Harvey earlier this season. So they are coming off back-to-back wins versus Houston and Texas A&M. So they're coming into this tournament on big high hopes. But of course, your Memphis Lady Tigers 5-0 on the season, including 4 shutouts, and so far ranked 18th in the top drawer soccer poll this season. So fantastic stuff happening so far to start the season for your Lady Tigers. And big matchup today between Rice and Memphis. Something to look forward to on the wings outside in particular will of course be Nia Stallings, coming off the hat-trick versus Houston last week, and the big lady in the middle, number 6, Catherine Levasseur, the 5'8" junior out of Quebec City, will be looking to dominate that midfield today. But so far, Memphis sort of in control to start off this matchup. Only about a couple of minutes gone into the broadcast. Unfortunately, we had technical difficulties, so if anybody was watching the stream beforehand, no big worries. We're finally up and going now on the Go Tigers Go live stream, of course, on the Memphis Tigers Network. Here's Gauthier on the ball, looking for an option as she drops it back to her center back pairing, Sydney Kingston. Back to Gauthier, who finds Sessions on the wing. Close to a foul there, but the referee's going to let it play on, but it will be a throw-in for Rice on the far side. But instead, it will be another throw for Memphis instead, as he switched his decision, as she finds Maria Levasseur on the far side. Good pressure in the middle from the center forward, Michaela Morton, who kicks it outside to Elizabeth Warner. She cuts in on her right foot, swings it back outside to Maria. Sessions finds Levasseur in the middle. Nice 1-2 with Morton as she finds it right back on the right side to Stevens. Stevens is going to cross it in the right foot, finds Morton just overhead. Still a ping pong in the middle of the box. Finds its way back again to Stevens on the far side. Stevens crossed it in with a light foot, looking for Michaela Morton on the one-time. Great save. It looked like from Mia Hoyer, the goalie from Rice, who was looking like it was going to be a cross. Instead, it found Morton right in the middle of the box, and a one-touch save pushes it away. Great opportunity there for your Tigers to start off this game. Just a couple of minutes gone, but a big-time save there for the sophomore out of Los Gatos, California, the 6'0 sophomore, Mia Hoyer, to keep the score right now 0-0. Tigers have the throw again. Crossing it in early was Morton, looking for Levasseur. And finally cleared away there from Rice. Big time opportunity there for Memphis to try to get advantage. It looked like from our vantage point it was Stacia Mullen who crossed it in with her right foot all the way to the other side to Michaela Morton, the 5'6 sophomore center forward, and then it fell kindly to Maria Levasseur. But like I mentioned, big time save from Maya Hoyer to keep the game tied up at 0-0. Levasseur swings it over to Maggie Aubry. Back to Gauthier. Memphis completely advantaged right now in the middle of the park, moving the ball nicely from side to side, keeping the possession in their favor. Not much pressure so far from the Rice Owls on the offensive end. Stevens has it here on the right side. Tries to find somebody, but it was intercepted, it looked like, by Annie Walker in the middle of the park. She tries to find her teammate Samantha Chicken on the right side. She's got it now one-on-one with Gauthier. She cuts inside on her right foot, finds the middle of the park to Nia Stallings. Stallings tried to find Lamia Manguillo in the middle, but it goes out for a goal kick for your University of Memphis Tigers. 37 minutes left here in the first half. Memphis and Rice, of course, still 0-0. Biggest opportunity so far for Memphis came with Maria Levasseur in the middle of the park, trying to go on the one-timer on the one-touch finish, but like we mentioned, Maya Hoyer with a big-time save to keep it at 0-0. Memphis plays it out of the back beautifully with Kingston on the ball now. Finds her left back Stevens. Stevens tries a little 1-1 give and go with Maria Levasseur, but she drops it back to Gauthier. Gauthier in the middle of the park to Levasseur, and on the far wing to Elizabeth Warner. Warner on the overlap almost finds her fellow left back Stashia Mullen, but it runs out of play. Will be a throw in for the Rice Owls. So like we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, this team, the Rice Owls, 2-1-1 on the season. Big time win against their basically next door neighbor rivals Houston University last week with a big 4-1 victory. They were down early in the first half 1-0, and then Nia Stallings, the 5'4" senior out of San Antonio, Texas, scored 3 goals in the second half. She leads all of Rice teams so far with the most goals this season at 3, and a big time performance from her. We'll get to that momentarily as Memphis has a chance here with Elizabeth Warren on the far side. Tries to cross it in with her right foot. Cleared away beautifully by Tristan King. Gets back into the box as Michaela Morton has a chance one-on-one again on the goal, but once again Hoyer, keeper, 2 saves to start this game, and Will pushes it away for a nice corner kick opportunity here for Memphis, their first one of the game. Memphis will take the corner kick on the far side of the pitch, and right on the far side, left side, close to the stand, close to where their actual home dugout is as well. Looks like from our vantage point it will be Jessica Lisi taking the corner kick. Cross it in with her right foot. Cleared away by Rice, but Memphis still has the ball as they're going to try to set it back up again. Tries to float it in the box, does Levasseur, but it rolls out for a goal kick. So I was going to mention earlier in the broadcast before, unfortunately, our technical difficulties to start the game, but nothing to worry about now as we're all good to go here in the Go Tigers Go network, that of course Rice and Houston are just 4 miles apart, separated are their universities, and we all know about the great cause the University of Memphis Tigers are doing to help rebuild the Houston University and of course all of Texas due to that Hurricane Harvey incident that happened about a couple of weeks back. They started this website called momentum.memphis.edu, helping all the University of Houston raising funds for Hurricane Harvey. Both the men's and the women's basketball team set the University of Houston gear to help with anything they can. So far, the current amount raised on the website is $3,184, which is fantastic to see. And they're also sending gifts, and they've also been donated 92 gifts. So we all know Houston and Rice are just basically next door neighbors and dealing with the same circumstances. So we want to shout out the University of Memphis for this great cause that they're doing, and we hope this will help a little bit, as we know the big devastation that happened due to Hurricane Harvey. So back in action here, of course, Memphis with the corner kick on the far left side of the field this time. It will be Jessica Lisi, it looks like, taking it again. Lisi swings it in with her right foot. Tries to find Levasseur in the middle. Once again, Rice defends it beautifully and heads it away. 2 players are down currently right now for both Memphis and Rice. It looks like Maria Levasseur and a Rice player. The referee's going to play it on. Memphis has a chance in the middle of the court, but instead it will be caught by Maya Hoyer as the sound buzzer does go off. Looks like it is an injured Rice Owls lady player right now. Unfortunately, she is on her back, so we can't see exactly who it is. But it was a very interesting what happened. It was Maria Levasseur, number 7, and like we said, an unknown Rice player right now was going one-on-one. I'm not sure if they knocked each other's heads, because Maria was also on the ground for a minute dealing with a little injury, but she got right back up. But unfortunately for the Rice player, she did not get back up, and as the trainer right now is on the field taking care of her right now. The strength and conditioning coach is Brent Ledberger, and also he is joined by Shanna Harms in her 2nd season as the Rice of athletic trainer. So hopefully nothing's too serious here for the Rice player, and she can get right back up. But it was a good start, like we mentioned, for the Memphis Tigers. 2 shots on goal already, 2 saves, big time saves for Maya Hoyer. She's coming off she's had 2 clean sheets on the season so far. She's only giving up 0.71 goals per game, so not even 1 exact goal so far this season per game she's giving up. She's had 14 saves. She has an 8.24 save percentage, and we already mentioned earlier in the broadcast her record so far this season for Rice is 2-1-1. But as soon as that Rice player gets back up on the field, we'll of course, send our condolences to her and make sure she can get up and get playing again, and we'll finally get her name as soon as she gets to her field. But it looks like she's finally up, and it might be her right knee as she's having help by the trainer to get off the field. Looks like a possible serious injury there because she can barely put any weight on that knee right now as she finally gets some help from the assistant coaching staff as well from the Rice Owls. So like we said, Memphis coming in this season 5-0, undefeated, ranked number 18th in the top drawer soccer. Out of the 5 games, 4 of those games have been shutouts. So Rachel Ashworth-Shepherd's having a great season to start off her campaign, her redshirt junior year out of Madison, Mississippi. So far, not one shot on goal to start the game tonight. So she's looking pretty good back there, waiting for a chance to finally save. But Maya Hoyer's been the busy one in the goal so far. 2 big saves to keep Memphis away as we're finally back under action here at the Mike Rose Soccer Complex as Rice has possession. Annie Walker in the middle of the field. Swings it over to Erin Miskeski. She tries to find her center forward, Topoleski. She turns on her right foot, is going to shoot it, and it was just kicked away. It looked like maybe a right-handed save from Ashworth-Shepherd. As I just mentioned, she hasn't been busy basically all so far this game, but right there on cue, Marisha Topoleski for the Rice Owls gets a shot on goal, and it will be the first corner kick of the game for the Rice Owls. On the far left side of the pitch. From my vantage points, it looks like it will be the sophomore Erin Meskeska who will take the corner kick. She swings it in with her right foot. Tries to find King in the middle, but beautifully defended by Kingston as she tries to clear it away, but still possession for the Rice Owls. Quick little shot attempt there from Rice. It's in ping-ponging in the box as Rachel looks like she will save it, and she does to calm it down for the Tigers. A big couple of chances there for Rice. 1 shot on goal, beautifully pushed away by Rachel Ashworth-Shepherd, and Memphis trying now to get more momentum on the offensive side. Shepherd kicks it up front to Catherine Levasseur. She tries to kick it up in front to Elizabeth Warner, but it drops kindly to Jessica Lisi. She finds Stevens on the left side. Looks like she might have kicked it out of bounds herself, Stevens, when she was trying to get possession, and it will be a Rice throw-in. Still no word yet exactly what the injury was for Rice and who the actual injured person was. A lot of the women are warming up right now for both Memphis and Rice on the far side of the pitch. So we'll see if she can get back in, hopefully, in this game. But right now, Memphis still in pretty clear advantage, mostly doing well on the possession front, moving it from right to left, trying to spread the field and get Rice open when they can and have their chances. But right now, still a comfortable 0-0 game with about 31 minutes left here in the first half. Hoyer tries to find Nia Steelings on the far side, but instead it will be a throw-in for the University of Memphis. So like we mentioned a little bit in the pregame, Nia Stallings, the 5'4" senior out of San Antonio, Texas, that's the one to watch tonight. She'll be on the far left side most of the night. She likes to cut inside on her right foot as well. But Miss Stallings had a hat-trick in the last game versus Houston in their 4-1 win. So that's somebody I'm sure the University of Memphis coaching staff and team was scouting out tonight to make sure they can have her pretty locked down and not have a big clear-cut opportunity. So far, so good for the University of Memphis. Here's Kingston on the ball. She swings it over to Mullen. Mullen tried the 1-2 quick little there with Elizabeth Warner, but instead intercepted in the middle of the park by the Rice Owls as they now have possession. Trinity King with the ball here. She's trying to maybe kick it over the top, but instead finds her partner in the middle, Samantha Chakin. Oh, it looks like a bad foul there by number 11 of the University of Memphis, Sydney Kingston, sort of upended on the kick there by number 9, if I'm not mistaken, which it is number 9, Annie Walker. So a free kick opportunity here for the Rice Owls. Looks like it'll be taken by their center back, number 14, Louis Stevens. Memphis with a very high line right on the top of the box. Stevens will try to swing it in with her right foot just over Levasseurs' head. It drops nicely momentarily for Annie Walker, but instead Memphis has possession with Maria Levasseur. She's going to try to find her center forward, Michaela Morton, as she finds her. Tried a nice little 1-2 touch there, but instead rolls out of play for another throw-in for the University of Rice. Levasseur in the middle of the park now finds her sister Maria. She has an overlapping Stevens if she can find it, but instead drops it back to Tristy King in the middle of the park. Jessica Lisi with the ball. Finds Kingston on the far left side. She tries to find her left back, Session Stevens, but instead falls momentarily for Rice. Great pressure from Maria Levasseur, and it looks like it will be another throw-in for the University of Rice. Still a lot of feeling out period so far in this game. Just about almost 15 minutes gone in this first half between Memphis and Rice. Both teams have had clear-cut chances, 2 for Memphis to be exact, 1 for Rice, but still 0-0 on the scoreboard so far. But Memphis still pretty in control with that possession, moving it from right to left. Looked like it was a foul there by Levasseur. Maria Levasseur, the 5'8" junior. Of course, her sister on the same team as well, Catherine Levasseur. Big contributors for the University of Memphis over their 3 years so far at the university. Chance here with Maggie Overbray in the middle. She's got Levasseur on the far side. She finds her. Levasseur one-on-one. Tries to cross it in for Morton. Almost a clear chance there, but nicely defended by Trinity King as Rice has the ball. Drops to Samantha Kinkin. She tries to find a teammate, but Memphis does a great job when they don't have the ball, pressuring Rice every single time. Every single time a Rice player has it, a Memphis player is always right there beside her. Trinity King tries to find her center forward, Marisha Topoleski, the girl who had the clear-cut chance so far for Rice earlier in this game, but instead falls over to Gautier in the middle. She finds her partner in center back pairing, Sydney Kingston, and back to Gautier in the middle. Little give and go there action from Kingston and Gautier. They pass each other 3 or 4 times in a row, and now she tries to find her midfield partner as she does in Lisi. But intercepted by Topoleski, and she has a chance. She has the ball, still dribbling, but Gautier reads it perfectly as comes in for a big-time tackle, and Memphis has the ball again with Stevens here on the left side. Gautier in the middle. Back to Kingston. Kingston back to Levasseur. And Memphis right now comfortable in possession, moving it from right to left, trying to open up that field, maybe looking for that long ball either to Morton or Maria Levasseur on the far left side. That's where they've done their most dangerous work so far in this match. But every time they go a little bit forward or they try to long ball, Rice reads it perfectly, and now they're going to have to regroup with Ashworth Shepherd in the goal. She's looking for somebody, instead kicks it long, trying to look for Elizabeth Warner. But instead it drops here to Rice and Topoleski. Tries the 1-2, she's gonna have a chance here on goal. Tries to kick with her right foot and just wide on the right side. Big time chance there for the Rice Owls. Number 9, if I'm not mistaken, which it is, Annie Walker, the 5'6" junior out of Grand Plank, Michigan. One-on-one chance there against Ashworth Shepherd. It was a nice 1-2 in the middle of the park between Manquill and Walker. Walker has a chance one-on-one on the goal, but just misses it wide as she put her jersey over her head in disappointment, as she knew that was a big chance to put the Rice Owls on front. But still 0-0, just about 24 minutes left here in the first half between Memphis and Rice in the Memphis tournament weekend. Like we mentioned earlier, Ole Miss and Tulsa started off the tournament big time 4-0 win for the Ole Miss Rebels. Rice getting a little bit more momentum now in the middle. On the ball, Samantha Chicken drops it back to her center part pairing Trinity King, as now Rice is moving the ball beautifully from right to left. Nice pressure there by number 24, Maggie Overbury, as Memphis finally back in possession momentarily, but as Maria Levasseur loses it, but Stevens is there to wipe up the damage. She finds her center forward pairing in Makila Morton. Memphis a little bit over not really getting that much possession in the last couple of seconds, as it looks like the head coach for the University of Memphis sent out the entire squad on the bench to get warmed up, but back into action here as as Rice again had a chance to go maybe with a shot on goal, but instead it was kicked away by number 26, Stasha Molly. But yes, the entire University of Memphis team right now on the bench is warming up. I'm not sure if that's a sign that maybe Coach Brooks Mahangan is upset with how the team is playing right now, but regardless, the whole team on the bench is warming up, possibly for substitutions later on in the game. But still 0-0, Rice and Memphis here at the Mike Rose Soccer Complex. Gautier on the ball. Looking for an option, not really much available right now. Finds Stevens. Here's Jessica Lisi in the middle of the park, tries to find somebody, instead drops it back to Gautier in the middle. Gautier with wide open space in the center of the park, still looking for an option, instead finds her center back pairing Sydney Kingston. Here she is on the ball. She swings it over to Stevens. Stevens looking for an option, finds Michaela Morton, tries a little 1-2 with Levasseur. But Rice, another chance for Memphis, goes away as Rice now has the ball. Amy Walker in the middle, tries a little in-between pass to Topoleski, but beautifully read by Olivia Gautier as she tries to keep the ball here right in front of us, which she will, but instead will be a throw-in opportunity for the Rice Owls, as the momentum is definitely building for the Rice Owls right now. Memphis trying to get more of the possession like they have done in this first half, but so far, these last 5 to 7 minutes, it's been all Rice offensively. Nice overlapping run here by Louis Stevens as she tries to get the ball, but beautifully defended by Maria Levasseur. Mally Radke will take the throw in here right in front of us. She finds Nia Stallings. Another throw in for the Rice Owls. Stevens has the ball momentarily, but instead Nia Stallings takes it right out of her. She tries to find Topoleski. Nicely defended by Kingston as she drops it to Levasseur, but she took a big chance there, throwing it back in the middle of the box. It's a ping pong action, but instead it will be cleared away by Olivia Gautier. Memphis needs to settle the ball right now, which they finally do get it on the ground, as Maria has it on the left side. Finds Stevens, who Stevens finds Lisi. Back to Levasseur. She swings it on the far right side over to Mullen. Mullen finds Warner, who does a nice little in-between of the legs pass and tries to kick it off of her defender, Mally Radke, which he does, and will be another throw-in on the far right side for Memphis. Levasseur tries to swing it in with her right foot, almost headed it on there, it looked like, by Michaela Morton. She did get on the top of their head, but it fell right to Maya Hoyer into her hands, who was at a quiet last 10 minutes or so when she had a busy 10 minutes to start the game. Right now, still 0-0 between Memphis and Rice, with about 18 minutes or so left here in the first half. Warner on the far side, puts on her burners, tries to cross it in on the right foot. She finds Morton a little bit of the bad touch and falls just over to Rice with Topoleski, who will be offsides, it looks like, if the head referee can see from his far position that she's offside, as the lines judge does have had his flag up for a good 20 to 30 seconds until the referee finally saw it was an offside from Rice. We can tell you the officials today are Michael Mears alongside Michael Carson and Eric Phillips. And will be a free kick for Memphis just past the halfway line. Olivia Goutier will take it. She tries to find Morton, who tried to flick it on. It looks like it will be a push, and it will be a push. The referee will give the free kick chance here for Memphis. Sort of hard from our vantage point to see exactly how far it is away, but it is just outside the box. So a big time chance here for Memphis to maybe get a shot on goal and see if Maya Hoyer is up to her great stuff so far, if she can save another one. Looks like it will be Jessica Lisi who will take the free kick, the 5'4" sophomore out of Woodbridge, Ontario. The only one over the ball currently right now, so unless Memphis is going to try to do something in the middle of the box, it looks like Lisi's going to try to score the goal here. She steps back, fires it on the right foot, deflected, sort of pinballs out to the middle of the left side of the field, but Memphis still in possession with Warner. Warner drops it back to Session Stevens. Back to Warner. Warner twisting and turning in the middle of the park, finally drops it back to Catherine Levasseur. She swings it beautifully nice over to Session Stevens. Stevens tries to go one-on-one and then try to drop it off, it looked like, to Maria Levasseur, but instead Rice read it beautifully as they kicked it away, but Memphis still back into possession. This is what we saw in the first couple of minutes of the match when they were dominating, moving the ball from right to left, having plenty of the possession, which they have done now in these last 2 minutes or so. See if they can continue and build up forward, try for another shot on attempt, for another goal on attempt. Goutier finds Levasseur in the middle. She finds Maggie Overbury. Overbury finds Levasseur, Maria. Back to her sister Catherine, nice little 1-2 passes as it falls nicely over to here to Mullen. She tries to go one-on-one, throws it in with her left foot, but once again, Rice is all over that. The two big center backs, Darcy McQuell, the 5'5" junior, and Trinity King, the 5'4" freshman, in the middle of the park today, doing really well defending all these chances Memphis have had so far. And there, once again, long ball from Kingston up to Michaela Morton. Tried to flick it on to Levasseur, but once again, Maya Hoyer reads it perfectly, as that is her third save of the game so far. Rice back in possession right here in front of us with Topoleski. She tries a little round of their feet, but Kingston reads it beautifully. King drops it back to Hoyer. Back to King. King tried to find her right-sided wingback, Louis Stevens, but instead will be out of play, as it looks like we're going to have our first substitution of the game for the University of Memphis. Might be a straight swap up front, as it looks like number 9, Michaela Morton, will check out of the game, and it looks like number 17 checking in for the University of Memphis, which it will be Clarcia Larcy, the 5'4" freshman out of Ottawa, Ontario. Not many chances so far in the early stage of the first half for Morton, who of course is your center forward who's been leading the line all season for the University of Memphis. She had the one chance on goal, but we'll see what now the substitution can do for the University of Memphis, maybe bring some spark up front as the true freshman checks in to this contest. Memphis once again trying to find a little bit of possession as they finally kick it off of Rice's defender. Will be another throw in. With about 14 minutes or so left here in the first half. Still 0-0, of course, between Rice University and, of course, your University of Memphis Tigers. Still undefeated on the season. Can't say that enough. Incredible start to their campaign. 5-0, 4 shutouts. Big-time performances this past weekend in Nashville at another little tournament they had against Rhode Island and Indiana. Of course, we're holding the Memphis tournament this weekend between Tulsa, Ole Miss. Tonight's opponent, Rice. They'll play Ole Miss Sunday right here on the GoTigersGo.com, and of course the Memphis Tigers Network. Game will kick off just past 7 o'clock, where Memphis tries to do the back-to-back sweep it like they did last week in their tournament. As Overby tries to find Levasseur. Instead, once again, falls to Rice. A little ping ball action in the middle of the park. Falls to Levasseur. She tries a 1-2 pass again with her sister Catherine. But Rice once again reads it beautifully as they have the ball here in the middle of the park. Mankul tries to switches it to nobody on the far side. I'm not sure if she thought it was a Memphis player, which it was Stevens, as Stevens has the ball. She tries to pass it up forward to Levasseur. Drops to Lisi. She tries to get a hold of the possession, but drops right back to Maggie Overby. Levasseur tries to go past her defender, but instead pushes her to the ground. Good sportsmanship, though, as she does somewhat pick her up, and will be another free kick opportunity for the Rice Owls just outside their box, and it will be Maya Hoyer who will take the free kick. Levasseur on the ball. Maybe she got tripped up there, which the referee does agree. It's sort of a little kick from behind. Sort of hard to see who it was, but I think it was number 4, if I'm not mistaken. Erin Meskeska, who will be a free kick once again for Memphis, as Olivier Goutier looks like again she will take the free kick just past the halfway mark in the middle of the park. Memphis has sent everybody up besides 2 players, Sesha Stevens and Stasha Malling, the right back and left back respectively. Goutier tries to swing it in. Headed away just again by King as she kicks it away, as Memphis will try to regroup. Levasseur, good pursuit on the far side as she tries to keep it in, and she does win her team a throw-in. As it will be Stasha Malin who will take that throw in. But instead, maybe a foul instead from the referee, as the ball looks like it will be, yeah, so it might have been a foul or it could have been an offside. Didn't really see the flag go up, so it could have been a foul on Levasseur while she was pursuing the ball on the far side. But will be a free kick for the Rice Owls. Catherine Levasseur in the middle of the park, nicely turned there, tries to find her partner Maggie Overby, which she does. She has the ball now. She draws it back to Mallon. Mallon tries the long ball over the top to Elizabeth Warner. But once again, Trinity King and the Rice Owls reads it beautifully. Back to Mallon, and she finds Goutier in the middle. Plenty of space here as she tries to find one of their teammates, which she does in Stevens. Just over 10 minutes or so left here in the first half between Memphis and Rice. Still 0-0, about 3 shots on goal so far in this contest for University of Memphis. 2 were on target, 1 was just a little bit outside, but I would have to say, to be honest, in these last couple of 10 minutes or so, Rice has been the more dominant team, moving it beautifully from right to left, and they had that big shot on temp, but beautifully saved by Rachel Ashworth-Shepherd, and still 0-0 as we stand currently. Stevens tries to keep it in with her left foot, but instead rolls just out of bounds, and will be another throw-in for the Rice Owls. Ooh, a big-time challenge in the middle of the park there. Was a fair one between Overby and Tobolewski, but it falls right to Gautier as she finds Mullen. Gautier swings it over to Kingston. Gautier finds Levasseur in the middle. She tries to find her teammate Mullen, which she does. Mullen tries to kick in on her right side. Instead swings it over to Catherine Levasseur. She's going to swing it again over to Stevens. Nice build-up play here from the University of Memphis. But instead, great tackle in the middle of the park from Annie Walker. But once again, Memphis reads it again as they try to fast break as Olivier Gautier kicks it over to Stevens. She finds Levasseur, who finds LaRussi. LaRussi kicks it on her right side, tries to shot on goal, but instead ping balls in the middle of the box to nobody in particular, and will go out for another Rice Owls throw-in. So with a change, not necessarily a change in formation for Memphis, they lined up in their traditional 4-3-3 today, but with the substitution of Michaela Martin going off and Carisha LaRussi checking in, it has been seen that Maria Levasseur will be in the center of the forward now, and we'll see LaRussi on the far left side, as it looks like Memphis once again will do another substitution. Looks like it, number 5 checking into the game, Janiel Hudson Marks, the forward junior 5'5", for Jessica Lisi. So we'll see how the formation twitches now, as Hudson Marks looks like she's going over to the far right side of the field. Mullen tries to cross it in, looking for Levasseur, but once again, great hands, great control from Maya Hoyer, the 6-foot sophomore. She's a big presence in that goal. The only one currently, if I'm looking at the roster collectively, from both teams right now who is 6 foot or higher. So she's a commanding presence in that goal, and so far doing a great job for the Rice Owls. Rice tries to kick it up forward to Manquill, but instead Tristan King reads it beautifully. Kingston reads it beautifully, excuse me. Stevens finds Levasseur. She swings it over to Oathbury. Sort of a bad touch there for Maggie, but instead Olivier Gautier will try to settle it down here for the University of Memphis. A lot of ping ball action in the middle of the park right now. Memphis trying to get a hold of the possession, which they finally do with Kingston. She swings it over to Stevens. Back to Kingston. Kingston tries to find Maria Levasseur, which he does nicely turn as she has the ball here on the right foot. Play on, says the referee. She tries to swing it over to Hudson Marks, who just checked in. She has it on her right foot, still trying to wiggle around there. But instead will be a throw-in, as it looks like, on the far right side. So big time play there from Maria Levasseur. Kicks it over to the lady who just checked in, like we mentioned, Hudson Marks, the 5'5" junior, which almost led to a shot on goal, but once again beautifully read defensively by Mallory Radke for a chance here for Memphis for possibly a long throw with Stacia Mullen. Mullen setting up here, looks like she is going to do a long throw. She takes her 4 to 5 steps back. Tries to flick on from Marks. And once again, Rice tries to clear it away, but instead it falls to Overbury, who finds Levasseur. She swings it over to Stevens. Stevens tried to do a little 1-2 there with Levasseur, but instead Rice read it beautifully, and it fell to Gautier, who tries to swing it in to Hudson Marks. Almost fell to her, but Maya Hoyer, once again, so far the player of the game, in my opinion, in this first half, has been very commanding in the air, both on the corners and the free kicks. And like we mentioned, those 2 saves early on when Memphis had 2 great chances, but still 0-0. Just about 4 minutes, 8 minutes or so left here in the first half. I had it right the first time. It was about 4 minutes or so left in the first half, about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left Still 0-0 between Rice and, of course, your University of Memphis Tigers to start off this Memphis tournament weekend. Should be a great weekend weather-wise. Beautiful tonight so far. About 60 or so degrees, I would say right now. 68 or so degrees. Turned into a beautiful evening on the campus of the University of Memphis, which they are associated with the Mike Rose Soccer Complex, a great complex here just outside of Collierville. Well, once again, all the ladies and men come out and play soccer here all weekend long, all week long, but the big stadium right now, all the eyes are on this Memphis versus Rice contest, still 0-0. As Lacier cuts in on her left side, just fell down right at the big time when she was about to have a shot on goal, but instead Maya Hoyer lifts it up. Clarissa Larusi has been a very pleasant surprise to come off the bench. She's shown great pace. She's shown great composure. She is only a true freshman, 5'4", out of Ottawa, Ontario. So it'll be interesting to see to start the second half if Memphis goes back to their original starting 11 or she decides to stay out there, because she's been a bright spark to come off the bench, very, very lively. Overbury finds Larusi, like we mentioned, here on the right side. She cuts in on her right foot. She tries to cross it in, almost a chance for Hudson Marks. It's going to be in, and it is in the back of the net there. Not exactly sure how it fell. It looked like to Hudson Marks from our vantage point, but it was Maria Levasseur who crossed it in with her right foot. Fell. It was sort of ping-balling in the bottom of almost in the center of the park. It looked like it was in between Darcy McWell and Trinity King, the center back pairing of Rice, and then I'm not sure if Hudson Marks actually got a touch on it or if she got a header on it, but it just fell into the back of the net. We'll try to get a replay momentarily as soon as we can from our vantage point, but still Memphis in control now with a 1-0 advantage to go right before the halftime. They always say the golden rule of soccer, never try to give up a goal just before halftime, because it's a big, big momentum swift, and that's what it could do for this second half as Memphis now leads 1-0 over the Rice Owls. But right back into action just comes Rice on the far side. As Topoleski tried to get a chance on goal there, she dove for it just a little bit outside of her reach, and it will be a goal kick for the University of Memphis. Just over 2 minutes left in the first half, but a big, big momentum changer there for Memphis. 1-0 just before the halftime closes. Coach Brooks is going to be really, really pleased with how Memphis controlled this game throughout the most part of this first half. Like we mentioned throughout the broadcast, Rice have had some chances. They've had one clear-cut chance, but still, right now, Memphis has the advantage 1-0. Annie Walker here on the far right side tries to find her partner, Nia Stallings, who's sort of been quiet. Like we mentioned, that was the lady who had a hat-trick the last outing for Rice against Houston, who scored 3 goals in that second half to win 4-1. But she so far has been nothing so far, nothing, one chance on goal, not even a shot attempt so far for Nia Stallings. So it'll be interesting to see if they can do a game plan, Coach Adams and company for the Rice Owls, if they maybe switch the formation or do something different in the second half to get Stallings more on the ball and more chances. But so far, Memphis has done a great job keeping her quiet, the 5'4" senior out of San Antonio, Texas. And here is Luisi with a bad interception there from Rice, who tried to swing it over. She's going to try to go one-on-one, and she has help on the left side, which she does with Maria Levasseur. And it looked like it was a foul there, it looks like, which it was, by Trinity King of Rice. So just over 10 seconds left or so here in the first half. Will be interesting to see if the referee lets this free kick happen before the first half whistle goes, as Memphis is trying to get the ball here. As it looks like it will be the center back, Olivier Goutier, who will take the free kick. Rice have 3 women in the wall. Memphis lines up all their ladies on the far right side. Goutier swings it in with her right foot. Hoyer is coming for it and punches it away beautifully as Rice tries to settle it down, which they do. And looks like it will be a stoppage in play, as Rice is unpleased, since they did sort of have a fast break opportunity. But anytime there is a head injury or a possible head injury, the automatic rule is always to stop the game right then when it happens. Not exactly sure right now who the lady is down for the University of Memphis, as the head trainer for your Tigers is Brad Ruhin, who is running out onto the field now to see who that possible injured Tiger is. But that will most likely possibly do it for the end of the first half, as Rice is running out all their players to their touchline, as maybe the referee will decide to take this maybe to halftime. Still no decision yet, but Memphis, the lady who was down, is now up. Maybe some ice on her head, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll be interesting to see maybe a possible concussion or maybe just a little knock on her forehead. So hopefully no big deal there for the University of Memphis. But Rice just had a quick water break, and they're coming back onto the pitch now. Just less than a minute left here, so maybe when the free kick comes back into play, the referee will blow the whistle for the first half. Where, of course, your University of Memphis Tigers lead 1-0. So based off the Go Tigers Go stats, it was the goal by Maria Levasseur. She did have the long shot, like we mentioned. She was crossing it in with her right foot. It looked like she was trying to find Hudson Marks, but like we mentioned, it was sort of like a ping pong action. The ball was just in the middle of the box. Nobody really could get a header on it or anybody could get a touch on it, so it just fell into the back of the net. But Memphis, of course, will take that any way you can. It doesn't matter how the goal happens. It just got to happen. Right now, sitting comfortably 1-0 up. Will be a throw in for the Rice Owls on the far left side. With just about 5 seconds left here in the first half.
I hate having to dress up.
And that will be the halftime here, where your University of Memphis, of course, is leading 1-0 over the Rice Owls. Like we mentioned sort of halfway through the broadcast about this great cause that the University of Memphis is doing with the momentum.memphis.edu website that they've created for the University of Houston. Like we mentioned, Houston and Rice are basically just about 4 miles apart. So these universities are basically a neighboring, and they're dealing with all unfortunate stuff that's happening right now due to Hurricane Harvey. So both the men's and the women's basketball teams sent gear to the University of Houston, and right now this website, so far, the amount they have raised is fantastic to see. Over $3,000, to be exact, $3,184 raised so far by the University of Memphis. You can donate any money amount. It doesn't matter if it's $1, $100, $50, it doesn't matter. Everything is greatly appreciated, and we will really, really help the University of Houston and, of course, Houston, Texas, and the entire Texas state, as we know they're dealing with this great tragedy of Hurricane Harvey. But that'll be it for the halftime right now. We'll be coming back momentarily, of course, for your second half between the Rice Owls and the University of Memphis. Once again, Memphis leads 1-0. We'll be right back on the Memphis Tigers Network. Hello and welcome back for the second half here between University of Memphis Tigers and, of course, the Rice Owls. Start of the second half, of course, Memphis still leads 1-0 with the chance. It looked like we said during the broadcast, it was a sort of a ping-pong action in the middle of the park. It looked like it was trying to fall to number 5, Channel Hudson Marks, but instead Maria Levasseur crossed it in and nobody touched it, so the goal will be credited to Levasseur, and Memphis will kick off the start of the second half. The goal scorer, Levasseur, momentarily on the ball. But still pretty even first half, to say the least. Like we mentioned in the broadcast, still the golden rule is try to never give up a goal in the last 5 minutes or so of the half, which, of course, Rice did, unfortunately, on their end. Coach Adams will be disappointed, but for the most part, they were in this game in that first half, had some clear-cut chances in front of the goal. Ashworth Shepard had one big-time save to try to keep the advantage at 0-0, which he did. But still, for the most part, this game's pretty evenly matched, but Memphis still in control with a 1-0 advantage to start the second half. Annie Walker on the ball. Tries to drop it back to Stallings. But instead, Catherine Levasseur has it as she tries to find Elizabeth Warner on the far side. Trinity King finds Manquil. As Catherine Levasseur tries to switches it to her sister Maria. Maria has it, trying to find an option, and she does with Oldbury. Oldbury over to Mullen. Elizabeth Warner is going to try to let this one go out of play, which she does, and will be a throw-in opportunity for the University of Memphis. As looks like it will be another long throw opportunity as a center back number 11, Sydney Kingston, will take this long throw chance, as Memphis has 4 ladies in the box right now looking for possibly a flick-on opportunity as to try to get the advantage back to 2 goals here for the University of Memphis as Kingston wipes the ball with a towel. She takes her 5 steps up for the long throw. Tries to find Morton, who flicks it on to Warner. It's a pin box in the box. Maria tries to get it. It falls. Hits the post there by, looks like, number 4, if I'm not mistaken, Elizabeth Warner, and she was the one who hit the post in that goal attempt, as luckily Maria Hoyer saw it go away, as she is again here, and it is in the back of the net. A big time finish from Elizabeth Warner. She was the one who hit the post when it was ping-ponging in the middle of the park, and it fell to Elizabeth Warner with the cross, it looked like from our vantage point, by Maria Levasseur, and Warner just basically from a good 12 yards away fired it into the top right corner. And like we mentioned, Hoyer, who's been pretty outstanding in that first half, she is listed at 6 foot, who was just on the outskirts of her hands, and it was in the top right corner. And Memphis now in big advantage with a 2-0 lead over the Rice Owls. That will be Elizabeth Warner's 5th goal already this season. She's having a great campaign, to say the least. The junior 5'6" out of Bloomington, Illinois. She'll be very pleased with that one. No chance Hoyer was going to stop that one. It was in the top right corner. Like we mentioned, Hoyer's are listed at 6 foot, so she normally can get almost every single ball with her height, but that time it was too much power and in a great placement as Memphis takes full advantage with a 2-0 lead. Morton tries to find Levasseur in the middle. She's chasing it down as Rice is trying to move it in the back of the box, trying to play with it almost, but luckily number 14 gets away with it, Louise Stevens, and will be a free kick with the foul on Maria Levasseur. Hoyer pushes her team further up the field as she'll take the free kick. Tries to find Topoleski. Not much possession right now to start the second half for Rice, but they do have an advantage here. She tries to find Stallings. Like we mentioned, Stallings is the key component to this team going forward, but so far shut down by the University of Memphis in this game. Kingston tries to find Morton, which he does. Nice touch with her left foot, trying to switch onto her right foot, but Rice defends it beautifully as Trinity King has the ball right now. She tries to find Topoleski. Instead, Catherine Levasseur reads it beautifully. Over to Mullen. Mullen tries to 1-2 with Michaela Morton, as she does. She finds Jessica Lisi. As Olivia Gautier tries to kick it up to Maria, but King clears it away. But Memphis right now has the ball, but the assistant referee has his flag up. But once again, the head referee did not see it momentarily as Memphis was still playing with the ball inside the park. But the assistant referee, Eric Phillips, had his flag up for a good couple of minutes as finally they do call the offsides, the second offsides of the game so far for for Memphis. But just over 38 minutes left or so here in the contest between Memphis, the number 18th ranked Memphis Tigers, versus the Rice Owls. Still 2-0, of course, with that last goal from Elizabeth Warner. The assist will be credited to Catherine Levasseur, the 5th goal, like we mentioned already on the campaign for Elizabeth Warner, who's having a great start to her junior season. More nice little 1-2 there with Jessica Lisi. She tries to find somebody. Looks like Maria Levasseur will be offside, which she was. She was trying to stay onside as close as she could, but just the through ball by Maggie Overby just a little bit too quickly, as it will be another offside. But nice opportunity there for Memphis. They're starting to get more confidence in this final second half here in the final third, where they're trying to move the ball quickly, trying to get Rice out of position, which they've done to start the second half. Complete control from the University of Memphis. Here's Annie Walker on the ball for for Rice as she tries to find her corner point, Samantha Chalkin, but once again defended beautifully by Memphis. As Rice now tries to find the possession with Trinity King. Maybe a possible foul in the back there from Catherine Levasseur, which it was. So just a free kick past the halfway circle. As see how much going forward Rice will do now, as they know they're down 2-0 and need to get more chances on goal. They've only had one clear-cut chance, even though it was a very good chance. Still only one shot on goal to start this game. To start the second half. Not really a good free kick there as Memphis tries to have possession as they try to kick it over to Elizabeth Warner on the far side. Instead, Rice will have possession as she drops it back to her goalie, Maya Hoyer. Hoyer with a bad clearance, and it falls just in time to Michaela Morton in the center of the field as she sort of falls down momentarily, gets her feet back and drops it over. She's going to try to find Levasseur, which she does. Nice touch here from there as she finds Mullen. Mullen's going to cross it in with her right foot. She finds Morton, tries to control it with her left foot. She drops it back to Warner. Warner's going to cross it with her left foot, trying to find on the far side there, number 9, Michaela Morton, but instead just out of her reach, and will be a goal kick for the Rice Owls. Memphis trying to get the hold of the possession again here with Maria. Maria does get it over to Lisi. Back to Levasseur. She tries to get possession on it. And she's a little frustrated there, Catherine Levasseur, in the middle of the park. Referee says calm down a little bit before she gets a yellow card. Still a little bit talking there from Catherine. But she finally goes away, and Rice now with the free kick. Stallings here in the middle. Nice turn on her left foot, trying to find some opening. As she does, she tries to thread the needle over to Maskin, which she does. One-on-one with Kingston. Kingston beautifully defends it, and out of play off of the Rice Owls, and will be a throw in as the University of Memphis crowd applauds that great defensive work from Kingston. It's a very, very solid pairing in that back there with Sydney Kingston, the 5'5" senior out of Dallas, Texas, and of course Olivia Gautier, 5'7" junior out of St. John. Those two have been very, very dominant to start this season, and nothing's been different so far tonight, with another shutout looming with Memphis leading 2-0 over Rice. Elizabeth Warner tries to cross it into Morton. She does. Nice little one touch there. DeLisi, she tries to, was it deflected by the goalie, which it wasn't. It looked like maybe Moyer got a hand on it, but it was a nice touch from Morton. She laid it off to Lisi. Lisi fired it with her right foot just outside the box as Hoyer sees it go away. But a nice, again, beautiful 1-2 touch. That's what we've seen a lot here in the second half. Moving the ball very quickly, trying to get Rice out of possession, which they've done to get the clear 2-0 advantage. Warner here now trying to find Kingston, which she does. Kingston's going to maybe go over the top, but instead fakes out her defender beautifully as she drops it back to Olivia. Sort of a pinball action in the middle as it finally finds Overy as she finds Levasseur. She tries to a little quick over the top to Elizabeth Warner. She is onside, but Hoyer with the advantage sweeps it up. But once again, the one over the top, that's the ball that they're trying to do, the 1-2 touch passing and the over the top to start the second half to get Rice out of position. And it looks like with chances here, Memphis can get this advantage from 2 up to possibly 3 or 4 before the contest is over. Nice switch there over to Radke here on the right side. She cuts it on her left foot. She's going to cross it in, trying to find somebody over the reach of Kingston, and it fell to Topoleski, but her header was just to the right of it and nicely swept up by Rachel Ashworth-Shepard, who's had a quiet start to the second half. Not much chances so far from Rice. Still 2-0 Memphis with just about 34 minutes or so left in the second half. Like we mentioned, this is the second game today of the Memphis tournament between Memphis and Rice. The first game, Ole Miss and Tulsa. Ole Miss, who was the next opponent for Memphis on Sunday evening, They took a big, big win 4-0. As we'll get back to that momentarily, as Mullen here has a chance on the right side. She's going to cross it in, trying to find Levasseur. She does, but she sort of kicks it as she looks like very disappointed, as she knew she had a one-on-one chance. Maybe her head came up before she kicked it, and that's why she sort of took her head off the prize as she disappointingly sees that ball goes away. But that was a big, big chance there, as Coach Brooks is beside himself on the sideline. Not sure how Levasseur missed that one, but still 2-0 Memphis. Big, big chance there for Maria Levasseur. Her sister Catherine Levasseur has the ball, finds Kingston, her center back. Back to Stalling as she tries to find Lacey, but she sees it go away to Kingston. Trinity King there in the middle of the park for Rice. She drops it back to Stevens. Stevens tries to find Tobolewski, but nothing there as Memphis sweeps it back up as they back in the possession. Maria on the far side, she's one-on-one with Stevens. Tries the 1-2 with Morton. Almost threads the needle, does Morton, but nicely read defensively by King as she now kicks it up the field. Tobolewski carries it down to Walker. She finds Chalkin. Back to Stalling. Stalling tries to go over the top to Annie Walker, and Walker's on the ball right now. Quick throw in from Rice as Stallings tried to get the ball, but by doing so, she pushes down her defender, Sheshan Stevens, and another free kick opportunity. Stallings looked very frustrated there by pushing down Stevens. She knows she's the go-to player for this Rice Owls team offensively, but she hasn't had one shot on goal, not even a shot attempt so far this evening. Memphis has done a beautiful job defending her well and not giving her a chance to do what she can do, like we saw the last outing against Houston, where she had 3 goals in that second half. Like we mentioned, Stevens will take the throw in. She finds Oathbury in the middle. Back to Maria Levasseur. She tries to get the ball, which she does. And it drops to her sister Catherine. Catherine finds Morton in the middle of the park. She drops it back to Lacey. She switches it over to Olivia. Olivia finds Mullen. Mullen's running at her defender, finds Morton in the middle. She drops it off, trying to drop it off to Lacey, but instead defended beautifully by Rice. Memphis trying to get the ball in the middle of the park now, which they finally do on the ground with Lacey. She finds Mullen. Mullen throws it up to Morton. Morton drops it to Warner. One-time touch, trying to cross it over to Maria Levasseur, and she's finally going to get it on the far right side. Double team, but she drops it beautifully to Sesha Stevens. She's going to cut in her right side, tries to cross it over to Martin, but instead defended beautifully by King. Memphis still in possession here in the second half, up 2-0 over the Rice Owls. Memphis really, really in control in this second half. Like we mentioned in that first half, there was times where Rice had some chances for about 5 minutes or so. They were the dominant team, but then Memphis had that big goal to start the second half, and of course the big goal to end the first half, now sitting comfortably up 2-0, and they've had more possession this second half than they did in the first half. As we have a chance here with Maria Levasseur on, tries to with her left foot. She's going to maybe run out of room, tries to cross it over to Martin, but will run out of play for a throw in for Memphis. Once again, it looks like the center back Kingston's going to come up for the long throw, which he's done for most of this game. She is a center back listing. They normally don't let Stasha Malling or Session Stevens do the throw-in opportunity, since they know Sydney Kingston has the big throw on her, as Memphis has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ladies in the box right now looking for a flick on from Morton, as Memphis can try to get this advantage up to 3-0. Morton did win the header, but unfortunately it did go out of play, and it will be a a goal kick opportunity, as it looks like it will be a substitution coming up for the Rice Owls. Looks like number 10, Haley Kingston, the 5'11 sophomore out of Ontario, Canada, checking another forward. So now Rice are playing two ladies up front with Kingston and Topoleski up front. Maybe switching the formation to a possible 4-4-2 now as they try to put on another woman up front to try to get this advantage down from 2-0 to 2-1. But Memphis still in control with Warner on the ball. Warner finds Martin. Morton tries to swing it over to Mullen just a little bit too much. Coach Brooks did applaud that one though, but it will be a throw in for the Rice Owls. Looks like Maria Levasseur and Elizabeth have switched sides right now. Maria's come over to this right wing, maybe trying to get more of the possession, but it falls here to Lisi. Lisi's going to try to shoot it with her left foot. Just in the reach of Maya Hoyer, is going into the top right corner, but instead she saves it beautifully and then sweeps up her save on the far side, on the far right side with Elizabeth Warner coming in. But great decision there from Lisi, who is right-footed naturally, but cuts in on her left foot, tries to kick it into the top right corner, but great save from Maya Hoyer to keep the advantage still 2-0 for University of Memphis. But this lead could definitely be coming increasingly soon, as Memphis has been in complete control in this second half. Here's Topoleski for Rice with space in front of her. She tries to drive on. She's going to shoot it with her left foot, but it went straight to Rachel Ashworth-Shepard, who that's only her second save of the game. She's been very quiet in this second half. Has been all Memphis to start this second half with, of course, they're still leading 2-0 with about 27 minutes left here in the second half. Warner finds Stevens on the far side. Stevens cuts in on her right foot. She tried to find Catherine Levasseur in the middle, but instead it was intercepted by the Rice Owls. But Stevens, the lady who gave the ball up, beautifully defends it, with Memphis trying to get back in possession, but instead back to Topoleski. She's trying to find somebody, which she finally does. Back to Topoleski, but instead crosses it in, and Shepard will see that one go out for an easy goal kick opportunity. Looks like Memphis is set up to have another substitution. Number 2, it looks like, checking into the game, Serena Dolan, the 5'6" sophomore out of Nova Scotia. Looks like she's checking in for Jessica Lisi. For Jessica Lisi. So just a straight swap in that midfield. Memphis still playing the 4-3-3. Catherine Levasseur in the middle, with now Dolan alongside of her, and of course Maggie Overy. Stevens looking for somebody with the throw-in. She finally finds Elizabeth Warner. She gives it back to Stevens, who gives it right back to Warner. She tries to find Maria Levasseur in the middle. Maria tried to get onto the ball, but instead she did so by going through her defender, and will be a free kick for the Rice Owls. Number 14, Louise Stevens, will take the free kick. She tried to find Topoleski, but Catherine Levasseur has it now. She tries to kick it forward. She does, but instead it will be a handball while she was trying to kick it forward, and sets up another free kick for Memphis. Topoleski here for Rice. Tries to find somebody, instead falls to Stallings. She's looking, Stallings down the far right side. trying to get a hold of the ball before it runs out of play, which she does. But by doing so, she gave it right back to Memphis. And Memphis now trying to set up the offensive end with Warner. But she sees it go to King. King steps forward. But instead, she sees it go out of play. And will be another substitution here for Memphis. Looks like number 3 checking into the game for Memphis, which it will be. Samantha Murphy, the freshman, 5'5" out of Ontario. Straight swap again up front as Morton checks out of the contest. Will be a free kick here for Rice. Not exactly sure what happened, if it was a handball or something. Coach Brooks has his hands up in disgust, not sure exactly what's happened. But Stasha Stallings will come over here and take this free kick on the far left side. She swings it in with her right foot. Tries to find somebody, but instead falls right to the Tigers as they try to get hold of possession. But finally, as the ball was ping-ponging in the box, it falls to Shepard, and she calms it down as Memphis looks again in complete control in this second half. As they try to get the possession going again, Maria Levasseur asking for it on this far side over the top, but instead Olivia drops it to Catherine. Back to Kingston. Kingston's looking for somebody, finally finds Stevens. She finds Warner. Stasha Stallings here on the right side. Tries to possibly cross it in with her right foot, which she does. But Olivia tries to clear it away, and she clears it off beautifully off of Topolesky's foot, and will be a goal kick for the University of Memphis. So still 2-0 here, Memphis versus Rice. I'm, of course, Ryan Glover, the play-by-play broadcast here for the Memphis Tiger Network. They'll be back in action on Sunday evening at 7 o'clock versus the Ole Miss Rebels. Big quick stat here about the Ole Miss Rebels to get you set for Sunday. Going into the contest tonight versus Tulsa, they've already scored 44 goals this season. They scored 4 tonight, so up to 48 goals, almost 50 goals, and we're not even close to halfway through this season. So it's going to be a very interesting contest on Sunday night. Memphis is known for their defense, 5 games so far, 4 shutouts. So we'll see how they do that against the Ole Miss attack on Sunday night. You can hear it, of course, here on the Memphis Tiger Network starting around 7 o'clock. Olivia with a free kick here from Memphis. She tries to find Dolan, but Dolan sees it go away momentarily, but still falls to Mullen. She swings it over to Kingston, who finds Stevens. Stevens tries to find Murphy, but instead beautifully defended by King as she tries to get some possession going for Rice. But once again, every time that's a 50-50 ball, Memphis has been all over those 50-50 chances today in this ball game. Dolan finds Kingston, who switches it over here to Mullen. Mullen's got some big grass in front of her. She tries to go one-on-one against King. She crosses in with her left foot, trying to find Murphy, but Rice clears it away. Still in possession here with Mullen. Mullen swings it in with her right, looking for Murphy. Another substitution coming up here for your Tigers. Elizabeth Warner, number 4, will be checking out. Checking in for Memphis, still trying to get that number for you, so we'll wait before we get that number. Looks like number 17, if I'm not mistaken. Clarissa Learcy checking back in for the Tigers. It was a very bright spark in that first half. When Memphis was trying to get that goal in front, she was big off that bench. We'll see what she can do here to start the second half as she checks back in. Stallings now here for Rice. She finds Topolesky. Tries to find her counterpart up front, but instead Memphis has it with Maria Levasseur. She finds Stevens. Stevens with plenty space in front of her. Instead finds Laracy. Laracy coming in on her right foot, kicks in, tries to shoot it, but instead defended beautifully by Stevens and Radke for Rice, as they now have the ball momentarily, but still falls right back to Laracy, who was trying to get the ball. But with about 18 minutes left here in this contest, still Memphis in complete control, 2-0 up over the Rice Owls. As it has turned into a pretty brisk evening here at the Mike Rose Soccerplex. A lot of hoodies up, a lot of pants out outside. One of the coldest nights so far in the summer of Memphis. As we know, it can come really, really hot here in the Mid-South, but still with fall looming, should be a beautiful weekend of soccer here at the Mike Rose Complex. Overbree has it on the top of the box here. She tries to fire it in with her right foot. Didn't really get good possession on it as it just goes over the bar, as Hoyer is happy to see that one go over the bar. She's been a busy lady in the second half with Memphis in complete control, still up 2-0. Hoyer tries to find Tobolewski, but instead will run out for a throw-in. As Stevens will take, as Mullen will take that throw-in. She finds Maria Levasseur. She tries to drop it back to her sister Catherine, but Rice was all over it. Makiska for Rice here on the far left side, tries to cross it in, looking for Tobolewski in the middle. Tries a one-time effort, but once again Shepard reads it. The ball was going out of play, but instead she saved it from trying to be a corner, and she does. And she has the ball now, looking for an option. She finds Olivia. She tried to find Murphy at the top of the box. She couldn't really get a control of the possession. But luckily for Memphis, it will be cleared away by Rice for another throw-in just outside of Coach Brooks' technical area. She tries to find Murphy. She's pressuring King right now of Rice, beautifully double teamed by Maria and Murphy. She's still going after it as Rice is trying to play with it in the top of the box. But luckily for them, they get it away, but Catherine is there to sweep it up as she's been doing beautifully all evening long. She drops it back to her keeper, Ashworth Shepard. Shepard this time decides to go long to Stevens, who flicks it on, trying to Laracy. She stumbles, but tries to get a hold of it. She's still fighting for it. But too much pursuit leads to a free kick. But Laracy, the 5'4" freshman out of Ottawa, Ontario, you can already see that's a great pickup there by Coach Brooks, who's done a great job recruiting in his time here at the University of Memphis. He's got a very, very good squad out this year, like we mentioned so far, currently ranked number 18th in the top drawer soccer poll. But if they have a great showing tonight, which they've done so far, and if they somehow beat Ole Miss on Sunday, you'd only imagine their ranking is going to go up, and going up rather quickly. Mullen with a throw-in, tries to find Dolan, which she does. Back to Mullen as she tries to kick it up to Murphy. Murphy finds Stevens with a lot of space in front of her in the middle of the park. She's looking. She tried to find Murphy again, sort of behind her, so Murphy had to stop her run, which it does, and it falls back to King for Rice, and Rice now with the ball. Another substitution here for the University of Rice. Looks like number 11 checking into the game for them will be Ashley Burgess, the 5'6" freshman, and also another substitution for Memphis as Michaela Morton checking back into the contest. It looks like number 3 Murphy. So a straight swap. The two ladies who substituted for each other about 10 minutes ago are right back in for each other now. Morton back in at the top at the center forward position. Here she is now trying to flick on a header, but instead falls to King. King finds Chalkin. She nice 1-2 go with Stallings. Stallings tries to find Topoleski in the middle. A chance here, but Shepard reads it beautifully and comes out quickly. As for Shepard there, trying to get back on her goal, but once again, beautifully goalkeeping there from Ashworth Shepard, who read the 1-2 pass beautifully right before the defender was coming, which looked like from our vantage point was Kingston, but instead great communication from Kingston and Ashworth Shepard, and Shepard was read it beautifully and leads to a goal kick. Kingston back on the ball now. She switches it over to Stevens, tries to, but Rice read it this time, but it pinballs back to Stevens on the far side. She finds Laircy. Laircy showing off her speed once again. One-on-one chance here. She blowing past her defender. Tries to cross in with her left foot, but instead a little bit too close to the defender. But Laircy once again doing outstanding work with her speed in the second half, blowing by defenders, showing her great stuff for only a true freshman. Coach Brooks has to be impressed with her so far in this game. Misker in the middle of the park there, looks like she got fouled, which she did by number 2, Serena Dolan, the 5'6" sophomore to Kentville, Nova Scotia, which will lead to a free kick, which the Rice Owls tries to take quickly, but instead nobody's watching as Memphis sees it, and we'll see them with a throw-in opportunity. Miska tries to find Topoleski. She turns onto her left foot. A little bit out of her reach, as beautifully defended by Kingston, who shades off a defender, which will lead to another goal kick opportunity and another substitution for the Memphis Tigers. Looks like number 10, Jessica Lisi, will check back into the game. But Coach Brooks looks like he's going to substitute maybe the center back, if I'm not mistaken, from our vantage point. Kingston checking out of the game. Number 11, Sydney Kingston. So it'll be interesting to see how Memphis lines up defensively, if they're going to maybe switch up their formation. But their center back pairing of Kingston and Olivia Gautier has been outstanding this evening, and which they've been so far this entire season, with 4 shutouts to start this game, and they're on their way to a 5th shutout tonight. Here is Lisi on the far side. It looks like now she's playing in that far left back role. She's doing beautifully with her in and out work. Tries to find Levasseur on the far side, just a little bit behind her. But great pressure here from Dolan. Looks like she had her shirt tugged, which she did, and will be a free kick chance for the University of Memphis, about 15 or so yards away from goal. Lisi was the one who took the free kick from about this range earlier in the first half, and it looks like she's going to take it again. 3 in the wall, it looks like, momentarily for Rice. Really interesting to see if Lisi goes again for the shot on goal, or this time she decides to cross it. She takes her 2 steps back. Oh, took a weird bounce in front of Hoyer. Should be a corner kick opportunity, which it is. Very interesting ball there from Lisi if she meant to do that, but instead it fell right in front of Hoyer before people could get around it, and instead Hoyer pushes it away, and then her defender King kicks it away, but will be another corner kick opportunity as we have another substitution as number 2 Dolan checks out of the game. And it looks like number 4 Elizabeth Warner checking back in for your University of Memphis Tigers. Lisi will take the corner kick right here in front of us. Every Tiger's in the box besides 2. Lisi crosses in with her right foot, tries to find Kingston, but it drops back over to Lisi. She crosses again with her right foot, defended momentarily by Rice, sort of ping-ponging in the middle of the box, but instead they kick it away. But Mullen reads it perfectly and tries to start it up again with Larcy. Here she goes again with her speed. Onto her right foot, tries to shoot it in, but this time right into Hoyer's pass as she sweeps it up beautifully. With about 10 minutes or so left here in this ball game, Memphis still in clear position to win this game, up 2-0, looking to try to get more. They've been the more dominant team in this second half. Like we mentioned, Rice has had chances in that first half. They had a couple of chances, but Memphis in this second half, Rice haven't had 1 shot on goal, and Memphis has been really, really good and really, really impressive in the second half. Elizabeth Warner here finds Morton. Morton tries to find Larcy. Instead, it falls to Radke, and Radke clears it away as Stasha Stallings is after this one, but it looks like it will run out for a Memphis throw-in, which it does. Larcy's trying to get on the ball, but instead Radke again reads it beautifully and will kick it out again for another throw-in for Memphis. Looks like Rice and Memphis will be doing another substitution again. Number 22 for the Rice Owls checking in, Nia Stallings. And once again, the first half we thought was who had the goal in the first half, but as we saw from our replay channel, Hudson Marks was the one who was trying to get on the end of Maria Levasoir's goal, but instead she did not touch it, so they'll be credited to Maria Levasoir, but she checks back in now to channel Hudson Marks. She'll be on this far right side in the wing. Here she is trying to get onto it. She is on the ball now. Looks like sort of a kick from behind, but the referee does not agree and will be a play on. Falls back to Kingston. Kingston's trying to find somebody. Instead, she's sort of playing it with it in the middle of the field. She finally finds Lacey on the far left side. Lacey beautifully defended there by Nia Stallings, who tries to find Topoleski, but she went full speed into Kingston, it looked like, and she's down momentarily, but she gets right back up. Good to see there. Don't want to have any injuries going into this big game on Sunday versus Ole Miss. Mullen up front tries to find Hudson Marks, who tried to keep it in, but the referee puts his flag up and will be another throw in for the Rice Owls. Kings tries to find Stallings. Stallings over to Van Dodel. Mullen tries to defend it, which he does. It will be a throw in for Rice. Miska on the ball now for Rice. She tries to find somebody, which she finally does in the middle of the park. With Stevens. Stevens tried to hurry the pass and she knew Morton was coming, but Memphis reads it perfectly with Oldbury. She finds Morton in the middle. She tries to get possession with her right foot, which she finally does. She's going to fire it in with her left foot. Great save at the near post by Hoyer, and she will see try to go out for a corner kick, but the ball is still in play. As Morton swings it in with her right foot again, almost coming was Larcy, but Hoyer reads it beautifully, as she will kick it up front. With about 5 minutes left here in the contest, Memphis still up 2-0 in the Memphis tournament weekend, which features 4 teams all around the Mid-South area. Like we mentioned, Memphis and Ole Miss coming up Sunday on the Memphis Tiger Network. You can catch that broadcast here starting around 7 o'clock at the Mike Rose Soccer Complex. Chanel trying to get on the ball there for Memphis, but instead will be a throw in for the Rice University. Still a great showing here from Rice, knowing that they've had 2 games canceled this season. Their season's sort of been in shock. You never knew if they were going to possibly play again due to the Hurricane Harvey. Not sure if their campus or any of the campus at Rice or Houston is underwater currently, or if it was under current water, but their 2 games were canceled earlier last week due to Hurricane Harvey, but they're back in action tonight, so good to see them come out this weekend, having a chance to play 2 games, just getting their feet wet, starting for their regular season campaign coming up momentarily, when they'll be starting off their conference season opener in just a couple of weeks, which Memphis will be doing as well. But Memphis still in complete control in this second half, up 2-0. Goals again by Maria Levasoir in that first half, and Warner in the second half. Stevens on the ball now for Rice. She tries to find McQuell, but instead it falls over to Chanel. Chanel sort of lowers her shoulder into her defender. Here she is on the right side. She tried to cross it momentarily with her right foot, but instead falls back to Overy. Maggie's looking for somebody, and she finally drops it back to Mullen. Mullen swings it in with her left foot. Maggie's going to try to swing it in, but she does instead cuts back in on her left foot. Looks for Warner at the top of the box. Coach Brooks screaming for a free kick, but the referee disagrees. But instead will be kicked away by number 7, Erin Maskeski. She tried to find Stallings, but instead Memphis reads it again with Kingston. Kingston switch it over to Lacey. Lacey cuts in on her right foot. She tries to find number 4, Elizabeth Warner, which she does. Sort of a bad touch takes her away from goal, but still with possession. Elizabeth going to the corner, maybe wasting some time here as she knows the game is getting close to an ending, but still has possession. She finds Larcy. Larcy showing off her speed again. Good tackle in the middle of the box as she tried to cross it in with her right foot, but instead will be out of play with just about 2 minutes left in this contest. Memphis still in control, 2-0. As we might look like we might be having our final substitution of the game, as Memphis is looking like they're going to make another substitution. Larcy will be checking out. Looks like number 7, Maria Levasseur, checking back into the contest. But still, Coach Brooks should be very impressed with this contest today. Memphis beautifully done again defensively. Only that one clear-cut chance in the first half from Rice that fell to Shepard, who pushed it away. But since then, the second half has been a sort of a snooze fest for the defense in Ashworth Shepard, as she hasn't had one save in this second half. So Coach Brooks and company should be very happy going to the big contest on Sunday, as they know Ole Miss is very, very powerful going forward, already scoring 48 goals like we mentioned in this season so far. Here is Mull on the right side, tries to find Morton, and she does. She's going to find Morton one-on-one with the keeper to try to make it 3. And yes, she does. Michaela Morton, number 9, the forward, sophomore, 5'6", out of Holy Trinity Catholic High School from Ontario. She's the one that finishes this game off 3-0. Beautifully ball there from Stasha Malling in between the defenders, and it fell beautifully to Michaela Morton. She had Levasseur right beside her if she wanted to give it to her, but she decided to take her to her own and finds the back of the net. Michaela Morton makes it 3-0, and that is all she wrote in this contest. Rice will go down, of course, in this contest 3-0, but that'll be Morton's her 4th goal of the season. She's got a total of 9 points so far. She's had 6 shots on goal throughout the season. That is her 7th, and the 7th one counted the most to make it 3-0 University of Memphis. Ashworth Shepard here now taking the goal kick, as we are just seconds away now from Memphis taking this win and going into the season with another shutout possibly, which will be their 5th in 6 games. Great showing again by the University of Memphis, who has been in complete control in this second half. Lacey tries to find Levasseur on the far side, which she does. She cuts it on her right foot. She drops it back to Olivia. Olivia finds Mullen. She finds Warren in the middle, trying to kick it with her left foot over to Maria Levasseur. Is she going to get there, which she does with her right foot. She drops it back to Warner. She swings it over to Catherine Levasseur. Tried the over-the-top pass to number 3, Samantha Murphy, but just rolls out of her reach and will be a goal kick for the Rice Owls with just about a minute left or so in this contest. Memphis still up 3-0. Stasha Stallings trying to get on the end of this one from Topoleski, but instead Olivia Gautier reads it beautifully and kicks it out for a throw-in opportunity. Stallings trying to take the throw-in quickly, which she does. She finds Annie Walker, tries to cross it in with her right foot. Miscommunication there from Memphis. Looked like Lacey and Ashford Shepherd. So, of course, the announcers jinx. I've been saying for the last couple of minutes they would have another shutout, but there, unfortunately, miscommunication. It looked like from Lacey and Ashford Shepherd, no communication in the back, and Lacey heads it into the back of the net for an own goal. So we'll be 3-1 here now, Memphis over Rice. Very disappointing there from Ashford Shepherd and Lacey. Lacey been playing most of the midfield in this entire season, but for the last couple of minutes she switched over to the left back in there. Not sure if they had communication issues or not, but instead she heads it into the back of the net, and it looks like the contest will finish up here. Memphis winning it 3-1. So even though it finishes sort of a disappointment for Memphis giving up that last goal, it should be a great evening of Memphis women's soccer on Sunday night versus Ole Miss in Memphis. Like we mentioned, Ole Miss very, very good on the offense of this season. 48 goals coming into the game on Sunday night. You can catch that broadcast right here at 7 o'clock on the Memphis Tiger Network. It's been a privilege to call the game tonight. I was Ryan Glover. I hope you have a great and safe